Hello, compliment of the season to you. This is my first video of the year and I'm so excited doing this video. Happy New Year to you. I pray that this year will bring all your heart desires to you. So in this video, I'll be talking about 5 major goals that every couple should set for themselves. It's a new year and everybody's trying to set New Year resolution, New Year goals, and I just thought of bringing these 5 major goals that you have to set for yourself. There are a lot of goals that people are setting out there, but these are 5 major ones that you need to set for yourself as a married person or you are planning to get married. So one of the goals is you have to set a financial goal for your family. If you are a husband or you're a wife watching this video, you have to set a financial goal for your family. You have to sit down with your husband, plan a budget. For every expenses, you have to have a budget. Don't just spend money anyhow, because it's a new year and a lot of expenses will come up as the year begins to progress. So as a married couple, you have to sit down and write down every expenses that you should that you'll be spending for the year. You can do a monthly expense, a monthly expense, and just be very sure that okay, this is what we are spending for on feeding, on clothing, on house rent, and a lot of things. These things will save you a lot of stress. As you are putting a budget, you are saving too. As a husband, you set a percentage for feeding, and or while your wife we have our own percentage. Then you just okay, this money is for feeding, this money is for clothing, and you'll be saving it monthly together. It will trust me, it will save you a lot of stress. When there's a need, you just know that okay, we have money for say for emergency situations. You don't just wait till those things come to you, but you save ahead of them. Emergency like health challenges and a lot of them. These are ways that you have a stress-free year in terms of finances. Secondly, if you plan on going on vacation this year, or you plan to on purchasing a property, you plan on doing something big as a family, this is the best time to start planning. This is the best time to set it can be a yearly goal, a monthly goal, a weekly goal, where you both sit down and say okay, this is what we are spending on this is how we generate the money. Okay, this is the new business we want to start as a couple, and this is how we generate the money. This is the best time of the year to do that. Don't just enjoy the season alone, but take out time to set your money goals for yourself. You have to have a joint saving for the family, so that whenever a need arises, you could have a place to take money from and not running helter-skelter or looking for somebody to borrow money from. So as a couple, you have to take time and set money goals for yourself this year. You have to still have to sit down and talk about business ideas that you have in mind to bring out money. You both can start a business together. You can just do something together to bring money to the family, because trust me, expenses does not finish. As if you are married, you have children, or maybe you don't even have kids yet, there are a lot of expenses and they don't ever finish. So you have to have a budget for these things. Another goal you set for yourself in this year as a couple is try to build a strong relationship. I will call that relationship goals. In fact, this particular one is very broad. You have to look for ways to improve your relationship as a couple this year. Don't just let the economy decide how your friendship will go this year as a couple. Don't let the situation around you have to decide. So this is the best time to sit down, talk to your husband. Number 1, this year, improve your communication. Yes, improve your communication with your spouse. Let your spouse know how you want to be loved. Discuss more often. Don't keep things to yourself, because a lot of couples, you are married, maybe your spouse offended you, you will now hold it in your heart as a grudge. It will be there. You'll be frowning your face, and you'll be like, he's supposed to know that I'm angry with him. She's supposed to know that I'm not happy with him. No, this year is a different year. You have to change that attitude. Instead of keeping this in your heart, say them out instead. You have to improve the way you communicate this year. It's something that you should set for yourself as a couple. Another thing that will also improve your relationship this year is to have more time for each other. Yes, create time for each other. Go on dates more often. Not only some persons, their life is just work, church, and it's just they have a way they just do their things round the clock throughout the year. They don't even have fun time, don't even have time for themselves. always working. Either they are working, or they're in church, or they are sleeping. Their routine is just so like it's just so coordinated that they can't even add a little bit of fun into it. So this year, one of the goals you set for yourself this year is to create time for each other. Have more time for your spouse. You can actually have a date night. You can do date night weekly. You can do date night monthly. One the best way to go about it is that set it in your calendar. Say, okay, after you and your spouse have decided how you go about it, like you can say, okay, we'll be having date night once in a week. We can have date night once in a month. You can, okay, the next thing to do is to put it in your calendar so that when the date is approaching, you know that, okay, so day, this is what we already have scheduled. And that date night is as important as every other thing around you. So take it serious. Take it very, very serious. You can be saying, what if we don't have the money for it? We don't have the finance to go on date night. My dear, there are different ways now there are different innovative ways to do things now. You can have a date night in your house, in your living room, in your bedroom, wherever you are, you can have a date night. What I mean is that just have a time where you sit down, you make your favorite dishes, you can make something special and say, okay, honey, this is a date night where two of you are just together, communicating, laughing, having fun, and just making these things actually spice up your marriage. Don't this year say no to boredom marriage. So some persons, it's only when they were single that they went on dates night, they did fun things. They like when they were still dating their spouse. But as the young got married, they'll be like, oh, what's there? It's not my husband, she's not my wife. So what's there? They just feel not concerned about their love life and all that. No, you have to keep on doing it daily. In fact, as you are married, just be behaving like you are still dating your spouse. All the things you were doing before. In fact, some men normally change when they get married. They'll be like, okay, I now have her, so what's there? They will stop chasing her. They are just there at home. Before they buy their wife lovely gifts and all that, but now that they are married, they just stop it altogether. So this is a year to change. This is a year that you have to change as a married person. And if you are planning to get married, then these are things that you should take note of and say, this I will be very intentional about my marriage. My marriage must work. If you see like those persons who are getting divorced every day, who are always having issues every day, it's because they are not very intentional about their marriage. You have to be very, very intentional about your family, about your husband, about your wife, about your children. This year is a year of intentionality. In fact, this is a motto for us this year on my page. Be intentional with your marriage. Be intentional to make things work out for your spouse. And do those loving things that make them happy. Another thing you should know in building relationship this year is to know your spouse's love language. And mind you, this love language, they change this per time. Yeah, they change this per time. Okay, your spouse love language can be, before now, it can be, okay, it can be a buying of gifts. Receiving of gifts. Yes. But maybe your spouse is pregnant at the moment, and maybe her own love language will be acts of service. So always make out time to find out what your spouse love language is per time. And speak those love language. Speak those love language. You can be loving somebody and the person is not feeling loved because that's not the way they want to be loved. So that's why you ask your spouse, how do you like? What are the things I will do to you to make you feel loved by me? So those are the things you ask yourself, your spouse, and as you ask, then you begin to have clarity and start doing those things. Another thing that you can do to actually improve your relationship with your spouse this year is to actually express gratitude all the time. Most persons, they don't know how to express gratitude. Your spouse does something that's little for you, just say thank you, honey, for this, thanks for that, thank you for helping me out with this, thank you for doing this. Like those little ways of appreciation, they actually help to build strong bonds, and they feel appreciated and they feel loved. Those things actually helps in so many marriages. You will see some women frying their face or some men frying their face. Some of them are just like, oh, they'll be like, I did this for him, I did that, I went out of my way to make sure that these things happen, and I'm not even appreciated. Even a thank you is not there. So as a married person this year, be intentional. Always appreciate your spouse. They dress this way, oh honey, you look so sweet today, you look beautiful, you look exceptional, I love your haircut, I love this, I love that. Those things actually boost the morale of your spouse and makes your bond stronger. Learn something new with your spouse too. That's another way to build a strong bond between you two. Learn something new. It can be cooking, it can be dancing skills, it can be a new language. Just do something fun. Learn something new. You can go out and say, okay, today we are learning how to draw, how to paint, how to dance, how to sing, how to like just learn something new. Learn something different. Those things are ways to actually spice up your marriage. You can read a book together and say, okay, we'll be reading this book together and we'll be coming together once in a while to discuss about this book. Those things are actually things you can do on your date night. Yes, you can have a book for the month and say, okay, this is the book for the month. You can just get a chapter for the whole of the month. It doesn't really matter. You don't have to actually, these things are not so difficult to do. Don't just stress yourself too much and say, okay, you must finish the book. No, those things actually gets boring at a point. You can read a book together and say, okay, we're reading this book, we're reading chapter 1 for the whole of the January. You read it over and over again, or you can say we're reading chapter 1, chapter 2 of this book. These books are books that will help you grow always, and it can be books on relationship, books on finance, books on like just any book that will develop you and your spouse. You take out time, you read these books together, and you come together and discuss, ask questions and all. These are the ways to actually build your relationship this year. Make it a duty to improve your sex life this year as a married couple. Take note of the word married couple. As far as you are legally married, make it a duty that this year you are going to improve your sex life, because a lot of couples are suffering. Some men are carrying heavy burdens. They are heavy. They are not able to. Some men are carrying heavy bodies. They are heavy and they are not able to offload because their wife is not available, or maybe even some women. This thing is this this aspect is for both men and women. Improve your sex life this year. You have to try out new things, try out new styles. One of those days where you keep on doing a particular style all the time, you have to change it this new year. Go on sites, browse out new ways. What you like, just learn new skills to improve your sex life this year. The persons, when they were single, it was a challenge for them to keep themselves. Now that they are married, now they are not giving different excuses. Oh, I have back pain, I have waist pain, I have leg pain, I have this, I have that. Oh, my job is very stressful. So they are just giving so many excuses, and this is actually they weaken the bond in marriage. If you have less sex in marriage, it weakens the bond in marriage. But if you have sex regularly, you see that the bond will be there, and it helps to improve your relationship. So as you are watching this video, try your best to improve on your sex life. Yes, improve. Stop doing the old styles. Try out new styles and try to do it more regularly. I know you might have a different excuse of work, stress and all, but you have to find that time, plan for it. Plan for it as okay, these are the times you'll be doing it. If you are that busy, plan for it as okay, these are the ways you'll be doing it. So don't just be that boring wife or that boring husband. Try to set up your marriage, because the reasons why most persons are not faithful to their spouse is because of things like this. Maybe their spouse is always not available, and it's not even advisable not to be faithful. So number one, it's you are sinning against your body, against your spouse, and against God. But as a person who is married, you have to try your best to avoid those things. That's why you should have to. For instance, as a man, you like seeing, like you see other ladies outside and you admire them, and you not start seeing yourself. She's no longer sexy the way she was before. You have to make her sexy. You have to work on her. Yes, because you're the one that made her like that. Because I've seen so many content online of men complaining. There's one content I saw, a lady was just crying, saying that she have 2 kids, and her husband is not even looking her way again. Her husband is even shaming her, like his body shaming her. And I'm just like, wow, this is very wrong. This is so wrong, because you're the one that put her in a family way. When you got married to her before, she was not like that before. So what you should do as a husband, if your wife is like that, especially after childbirth, a woman tends to get fatter, like her body gets bigger, her body gets flaggy. You have to help her to improve herself. So go to the gym together, you join her to go to the gym, encourage her to work out, encourage her to burn those fats, so that she'll be that sexy person that she has always been. Instead of body shaming her and looking down on her, it's a very wrong thing to do. In fact, it's very evil as a husband if you are doing that to your spouse. It's very evil because you are the one that put her in that way. So as a husband, encourage your wife to go to work out and look sexy for you. If you see something you like outside, buy it for her to wear. Buy her. In fact, this year, I'm just saying this to the husband. Try your best to make your wife look more good. Buy her new wigs, buy her new clothes, just buy her jewelry, buy her stuff. These things will make her look more good. Because you are like, oh, you are like, see the way you are dressing. You're not good at this, you're not that. If she has the good clothes and the beautiful clothes, she will wear them. And another thing that actually reduces libido in women is too much stress. I know that there are some husbands that they are not so supportive to their wife at all. They leave all the like they leave everything for their wife. For instance, you don't even assist her in doing anything. You don't even pay for maybe someone else to join your wife to do something at home, but you just leave her and all that. Then when she's done cleaning, sweeping, taking care of the kids and all that, then she's not tired and stressed, looking so drained. You now come and say, okay, what's the way now? Most times these women will just like, okay, please, I just want to rest. Please, as a husband, try your best to help your wife too. And as a wife too, try your best to help your husband. In fact, it's actually something that you guys can do together and make everything work out perfectly well. So on that thing on my list, I'll talk about money goals and relationship goals. The third thing on my list is health goals. You have to look into your health this year. As a married couple, look into your health. Help your spouse achieve their health goals this year. You have to do more healthy meals. You have to eat more, mm, eat healthy. Because that different healthy meals you can take so that you both can be healthy. You have to consider the health status of your spouse and yourself also. Go for regular checkup if possible. Check your BP regularly. If you have any, if your spouse or yourself you have any disease or whatsoever, try your best to always take your medications regularly so that you get fitted and you get better and well, because your spouse needs you. Your spouse needs you, because some persons they will be sick but they don't know how to take medication. Their spouse will not even be aware that they are sick. Let your health status be known by your spouse. You have to let your spouse know your health status at every point in time. Oh, this is how I'm feeling. This is what's going on now, right now. Let your spouse know. Stop holding it. Stop holding those information from your spouse so that they can have a better way to help you out and treat yourself to get better, because they need you alive. You need to stay alive for your family, for your children, and for your spouse. For the sake of your children, you have to take your health seriously. I tell you, if you are healthy, every part of your life is going to be smooth. Your mental health will be okay, your physical well-being will be okay, all way round you'll be okay. So you have to prioritize your health as a family this year. Also try to stay hydrated. Yes, always try to stay hydrated. Make sure to know the amount of water you should consume in a day, and try to always consume such amount of water to prevent a lot of diseases. Because if you are always dehydrated, you can contact kidney stones. I've seen persons who said they have kidney stones because they are dehydrated. So always stay hydrated, always drink water regularly, and also encourage your spouse to drink water. You can have a bottle where you put the quantity of water into drinking a day, because that's the same thing I do in my family. These things can help you stay hydrated always. So another thing that you can do to strengthen the bonds you have in your family, that's the fourth goal that you set for your family, to celebrate milestone. Celebrate your small wins, your big wins, celebrate your anniversaries, celebrate birthdays and all that. All these occasions are things that you celebrate, and it will help the bonds to be stronger. I know there's some persons who are married, they don't even know their wife's date of birth or their husband's date of birth. They don't even know these things. These are things that you should take into consideration. You should know these things this year. From this year, you have to start taking note of these things and celebrate your spouses on those special occasions. Even your children as well. Celebrate them on special occasions. The last goal you set for yourself is spiritual goal. Yes, you have to stay spiritually connected to God this year. You have to take everything about your spiritual life serious. You have to pray together, study the Bible together, go to church together. Just make sure that you are spiritually intact this year, because this is a year that you not give chance for the devil to do what you want to do in your family. Always pray for your children. As a husband, you are the head of the family, spiritually and physically. You have to take your stand, your spiritual role in the family as a husband. Always pray for your wife, pray for your children. Same with the wife. Take that spiritual role too and hand over your family to God daily, because a family that prays together stays together. And mind you, the devil is always working about looking for who to destroy. You want to be connected always to God, so that whenever the devil plan evil against you or your family member, you'll be aware and you play and you pray against it to avert it. So these are the 5 different goals I feel you set for yourself. Number one, I talk about money goals. Number two, relationship goals. The third one, I talk about health goals. Then I talk about celebrating milestone, and the last goal is your spiritual goal. Thank you so much for watching my video. I hope that you learned a lot of things from this video. Do want to subscribe to this channel, like my videos, and drop your comments for questions, contributions, and all. I love you so much. See you in my next video. Kisses.